morning and welcome to another edition of Through the Decades with the Georgia Tech News Network. Today we'll be looking at the 1940s through the 1960s. In my opinion, a great couple years, but we'll see what we have to say. The 1940s were dominated by Hitler and his wish to dominate all of Europe and the whole world. So, and with looking at London through that, the Blitzkrieg was Hitler's attempt to bomb all of London, and it was a big switch for Hitler. He usually went after military targets, but starting on September 7th, 1940, he started to go after the city and was hoping to bomb and destroy all the citizens' morale and kind of just get them out of the war that way. It lasted 57 days. On May 11th, 1941, it ended, and it was really just because Hitler realized it wasn't going to work, didn't work out for him. He decided to go and attack Russia. But during the Blitz in London, people sought shelter in the underground tunnels, and my partner Sarah here has more on that.
Yes, people did hide out in the Aldwych Underground during the airstrikes of the Blitz and World War II. Aldwych was also used to hide priceless marble called Elgin marble. Tons of this marble was hidden down there and kept safe from airstrikes and Nazi invasion during the war. The Piccadilly Circus station was a part of the underground, and people were also hiding out down there. There were doctors treating patients who were sick and hiding out during the airstrikes. And there's a picture, as you can see here, of these two circus performers performing down there just to entertain people while they were all stuck.
Try to relieve some stress.
Yep.
All this destruction from the Blitz is known as the Second Great Fire of London, and we have our friend Kylie here to tell you more about that.
Before we talk about the Second Great Fire, first we must talk about the First Great Fire. The First Great Fire started on September 2nd, 1666, in Thomas Farriner's bakery. He forgot to turn off his oven the night before, which led to early the next morning, piles of flour caught on fire, and the whole city raged into flames. The fire lasted 4 days. The fire was finally put out by the stone walls of the city, and many homes were destroyed and many people were left homeless. Luckily, not many people died. However, one of the most tragic events that happened was that St. Paul's Cathedral burned down, which was a large symbol of hope for the city of London. So what Robert Hooke and Christopher Wren decided to do is that they designed a large structure to be built in the city of London, just 60 meters from where the actual first fire of London began, to commemorate what a disaster that this fire caused. It's a large monument that still stands in London today, and visitors can climb all the way up to the top to get a panoramic view of the London skyline. Almost 300 years later, on the night of December 29, 1940, of the Blitz, the Germans dropped numerous bombs on the city of London, which caused a fire to spread rapidly throughout the city. This night became known as the Second Great Fire of London, and here's Brandon and Dick to tell us about the cultural significance of this event.
So Hitler's goal was to demoralize the English people so he can mobilize his troops to the east to fight the Russians. And that is why Winston Churchill insisted to save the St. Paul's Cathedral at all cost. Even the firefighters, the volunteers that were saving the cathedral realized its importance. And I quote, "If it goes down, we all go down." And here we have a picture. This is one of the most iconic photographs of the war. St. Paul's Cathedral stood tall, and it gathered the people and stood as a symbol of defiance. Over to you.
So with the Blitz, a lot of the infrastructure in London was completely destroyed, and that gave a chance for the Londoners to start completely new. And one such aspect of culture where they were able to start new was education. In London, before the Blitz, there were 1,200 schools, 1,200 secondary schools, and out of these schools, 1,150 of them were completely destroyed. So they had a chance to rebuild the school system, and they took it. They rebuilt a system. They made a new system where everyone would get access to a secondary education, and it got rid of the selective nature of the previous system, which took secondary students based on an exam. Overall, the school system became more progressive and more modern, and it is one of the first modern school systems that came into existence. That's all we have for today. Thanks for watching.